This series is designed to bridge the gap between technical proficiency and intentional teaching. We will start from the foundational goals in Video 1, providing an overview of the course and insights into Module 1. We will explore the toolkit's rationale, moving from a comprehensive to a selective methodology. By demonstrating how to start with tailored slides and translating concrete objectives into effective opening activities, we aim to establish the basic educational concepts that will serve as the backbone for the entire series. In Video 2, we discuss the challenge to manage an adult learner, focusing on the principles of andragogy and the creation of a supportive learning environment that leverages prior experience. By starting with a practical activity on how to deal with a silent audience, we introduce the adult learner's main characteristics. The goal is to help you identify these traits and develop strategies to effectively mitigate participation resistance as detailed in Modules 1 and 2. In Video 3, we introduce the role of interactive tools, drawing from Module 3 to emphasize teaching and learning intentionality in technology. We focus on managing cognitive load and implementing content chunking strategies. Through the strategic use of real-time polls and the purposeful management of virtual breakout rooms, you will learn to select digital tools aligned with specific instructional goals, carefully avoiding what we define as technological abuse. In Video 4, as well as in Toolkit's Module 4, we focus entirely on assessment, reframing formative assessment as a continuous compass for both the instructor and the students. We provide the necessary instrumentation to measure and guide this process, showcasing the basic design of an assessment rubric and the use of word clouds to map learner perceptions. The objective is to recognize assessment as an ongoing instructional guide, supported by objective metrics and standardized tools. Finally, in Video 5, we will discuss some issues about planning and managing a lesson. The goal is to ensure your training remains flexible and effective, regardless of the challenges that may arise. Deepening our insights into Module 5, we explore lesson design frameworks and the crucial balance between projected time management and classroom actuality. By planning a workshop activity based on objectives and defining the filter between must-have and nice-to-have content, you will develop the instructional flexibility needed to prioritize the quality of the learning experience over the sheer volume of information. Hi everyone, I'm Mattia and I'm going to introduce the Train the Trainer's Toolkit. In this video series, I will show you exactly what lies inside our handbook and explore its main features. We will cover the modules that make up the course: adult learning, digital facilitation, and instructional design, ranging from the structure of a single lesson to assessment strategies. It's important to note that each module concludes with specific practical activities. These are designed with a dual purpose. First, to give you a concrete idea of how you, as a future trainers, can design similar activities for your own subjects. Second, these are not mere knowledge checks, but are designed to generate concrete outputs that are immediately usable for your own course. But why this course? Learning always begins with a question, and that question can be as fundamental as why are we here in this course, or why is this content important? With excellent students, those who are naturally talented and eager to learn, teaching faces few obstacles. They will move forward on their own and they will be happy to do so. This represents the ground level of teaching. The students do not need to be asked why they are there. However, instructional design and educational sciences in general are concerned primarily with teaching everyone, not just the excellent ones. This is precisely why the need for a Train the Trainer's handbook arises. The average learner is not necessarily the excellent student. They are someone who needs orientation, and their results depend heavily on the trainer's performance. For this reason, a trainer must possess the basics to teach everyone, elevating their practice above this ground level. Train the Trainers is a structured course divided into modules, which is not meant to be applied mechanically or replicated in the same way across different academic and professional fields. The handbook and this video series were designed for professionals with a strong disciplinary background who will be involved in education and training activities, particularly in online or blended environments, without necessarily having a formal background in teaching. The purpose of this course is not to provide a rigid model of how training should be done. Rather, it aims to support you in understanding how training design works so that you can adapt it to the specific context, audience, and constraints you are working with. I want to make this explicit from the start because when working with adult learners, clarity of purpose matters more than completeness. If you understand what this material is for, you will know how to use it effectively. If not, even the best content risks becoming inefficient. This first video is therefore meant to help you orient yourselves, to understand what this toolkit is, how it was designed, and how you can make practical use of it. If you open the handbook, you will notice that it begins with the theoretical content, in particular with the slides on adult learning and andragogy. This is intentional. The handbook is designed as a comprehensive reference. It needs to provide a shared conceptual framework, a common language, and a set of assumptions about how adults learn. For this reason, theory appears explicitly and early in the document. However, and this is a crucial point, the structure of the handbook should be not confused with the structure of a live training session. I'll be very explicit here. You should never start a live session with slides like this. Rather, you'd have to find a clever solution if you wanted to use them as opening. This does not mean that theory is unimportant. It means that theory plays a different role when you're designing a course than when you're facilitating a session. In the handbook, theory helps you orient your design choices and alternates with applications, defining the foundations of each topic, but in a live session, your starting point should aim at learner's context, expectations, and objectives. By and large, a training handbook must be complete. A live session must be selective. So, how should you approach this material? I suggest a dual approach. First, think of this as a quick start guide. I encourage you to go through the entire handbook, module by module. You will find that many slides are light, visual, and easy to follow. Reading it all will give you a solid foundation and a shared language. It's the best way to have a look of the core principles of learning before you start. However, and this is a key distinction, when it comes to designing your lessons, you should change your mindset. You shouldn't feel obligated to slavishly follow the linear order of a ready-made textbook, slide by slide, but think about your school and academic experience. How many times have you followed a textbook from cover to cover? Yet the order of those textbooks made sense. This means that regardless of the quality of the source material, you must know how to adapt it. Take concepts from different models and develop an original activity. Your lesson shouldn't be a summary of a textbook. It should be a specific journey designed for your specific audience. As you browse through the toolkit, you will notice that some slides are very dense. They are packed with the information, definitions, and technical details. As I mentioned, they are intended to be complete because the handbook is your reference base. But please remember, your on-stage material, the slides you actually show to your learners during a live session, should be much lighter, kinda 80% lighter. Your learners don't need to read a wall of text, they need to engage with the concepts and the goals of the course. Use the dense slides to study, but use simplified visuals to teach. Now it's time to introduce some key concepts, some leitmotifs that you'll find widespread in the handbook: alignment with learning objectives and adaptability. Let's start talking about one of the most significant shifts you can make: designing by objectives. Think about the difference between contents and goals. The content is about what I want to say. The goal is about what they will be able to do. Let's take a technical example, the chemistry of hydrogen. If you start your lesson by saying, "Today we will talk about the chemical reactions in electrolysis," you are delivering a lecture. It could be perceived as academic, maybe vague, and for a busy professional, it can feel like a burden. But what if you start with a goal? By the end of this hour, you'll be able to identify which specific chemical parameters influence the efficiency of an electrolyzer, or whatever. Now, the chemistry of hydrogen isn't just theory, it's a pathway to reach a satisfying finish line that can be easily identified by the learner, instead of a generic electrolysis. And this is just the title. By setting a clear objective, you provide context. The technical principles become easier to simulate because the learner knows exactly why they are learning them. The goal sets the hook. Does it sound trivial? Well, try to ask yourself, would you find more accessible, or on the contrary, more repulsive, a lesson called Adult Education Principles, or one that begins with 3 strategies to make an expert engineer listen to you for 50 minutes? What about the adaptability? Consider when you teach. You will likely use technical slides that weren't designed by you at first instance. Here's the golden rule. Never use a slide designed by someone else without adapting it first. Even if the slides are technically perfect, they were designed for specific learning goals, but they weren't designed for your specific lesson, your specific timetables, or your specific group of learners. Using ready-made slides without personalizing them is like wearing a suit that wasn't tailored for you. It might cover you, but it won't feel right. The Train the Trainers Toolkit will give you hints to tailor those technical slides. Reduce the text, isolate the key concept, and turn it into a conversation. Let me show you exactly what I mean. I'll do a quick demo using a topic from our handbook: motivation. If I were to teach motivation, I wouldn't scroll slide by slide from the handbook. It would be boring. Instead, here is my workflow. I type the goal. At the end of this module, trainers will be able to handle a silent audience in digital environment. I select what I need. I go to Module 1, section on motivation. I find the concept of intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation, but I don't need the whole theory. I'm oriented to the goal, transmitting the idea that learners tend to be more motivated if they clearly see the usefulness. So, instead of explaining the theory, I create a scenario. I ask my learners, you have 20 participants with their cameras off. You just explained a complex diagram. No one is asking questions. What do you do? The goal can be easily converted in a title. How to handle a silent audience. I took a theoretical concept from the handbook and I transformed it into a practical problem-solving moment. You can do the same with your lessons. Don't just explain the how of an industrial process. Ask them to fix a simulated failure. Then, at the end of the lessons, you can always give them the complete package of slides. To wrap up this first video, please do read the manual, go through it, enjoy the materials, and complete the exercises. It's designed to be your guide, but when you're ready to step into your role as a trainer, be brave, be selective, use the ready-made material to build something that belongs to you and speak to your audience. In the next video, we will take a sneak peek at the psychology of your learners, andragogy. We will see why expert professionals sometimes resist learning and how you can respect their experience while still challenging them to grow. The silent Zoom call scenario will be an example of how we'd convert theory into minimal slides. See you in the next video.